What is up, guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. And in today's video, I'm gonna be giving you guys the top 3 cars that I recommend anybody and everybody to start with if you're looking to just get into the rental business. I get this question a lot, like, hey Dud, what kind of car should I get to rent out? What's the most demanding vehicle, right? There's a list of cars that I recommend to people, but these 3 cars is what I would suggest anybody to get. By the end of this video, you'll know the 3 cars that I would recommend and why those 3 cars specifically, and you'll know, I'll show you how to get them, the best way on getting them, like if it's like financing and how to search for the vehicles, the best way from my knowledge, and how to price them so you can maximize your profits and earnings. Okay, so those are my 3 things that I wish to accomplish by the end of this video. For the people that don't know me, my name is Dudley, and I have a luxury and exotic car rental company called Dud Rents, and I've pretty much been doing car rentals for over 4 years now, based out of South Florida. And pretty much, guys, I built a business where I help people make money with their vehicles by adding their vehicles onto my fleet. I manage it for them, where I rent it out to my clientels. But before I give the keys to my clientels, I do the insurance verification, the client screening, the pickups, the drop-offs. I pretty much do everything for the owners and investors, where they can just sit back and collect, and I just split the profits with the owners and investors. I've helped countless of car owners make thousands of dollars every single month. Just last year in 2025, I've generated over 50 grand payout to my investors only. It just shows that my business model works and is legit. Okay, and I've dealt with all types of cars. I done seen the ugly and I done seen the great in the business, and pretty much I'm just here giving info, giving knowledge to the people that just want to make passive income with their vehicles. So if you're somebody that's want to make passive income completely hands off, instead of going to the stocks route, or instead of going to the real estate route, and you wanted to double your income for the year of 2026 by joining the car rental business, there's a link in the description where you guys could just apply to book a one-on-one call, where you could just simply add a vehicle to my fleet, and I'll be more than happy to help you. Okay, so let's get into the video. So the first car that I would recommend anybody to get to start off with, right? And these will be only high-end vehicles, right? I'm not going to talk about economy cars. The first car I would recommend is a Mercedes-Benz C300. Okay, why? The Mercedes C300 is the perfect entry-level luxury car that anybody could get. They're not that expensive. They're like around 40 grand, and you could find a good trim for like 40 grand that got like less than 10,000 miles. The C300 is the perfect entry-level luxury car. It got full of luxury features. It got ambient lighting. It got, comfortable leather seats, right? Some of them come with like red seats. They're pretty common in color, so you either could find like a black or a white or a blue one. I never really seen like any, colorways in those cars. So like a black or white one is perfect, preferably the AMG model, the AMG trim. Okay, so the C300 is like the perfect entry level car that I would recommend. When I first started my business, I had a blue C300 convertible coupe, right? It was a coupe, it was a 2-door. That was the first car I ever started with, and that car did very good when I first started with. So the C300s, as they evolve their bodies and their technology, I always recommend the C300s. That's the first car. Second car is the Corvette C8s. If you're getting 3 cars, these are the cars that I recommend anybody to get. Add a little luxury to it and add a little sports to it. The Corvette is like the best sports car that anybody could get, right? It's easy approval. They're selling like everywhere. You could get them for like around 50 grand, literally 50 to 60 grand. You don't need like a Z06, honestly. If you want to, go ahead, but you don't need a Z06. A Corvette Coupe 1LT will be just fine. You can find one for like 55 racks, 60 grand that got like less than 10,000 miles. It's a fun sports car. The top come off on all of them, right? So if you're in a sunshine city or in a tourist city, that's a car that's easily rentable. So the reason why I say Corvette C8, because who doesn't love a Corvette? It's not an exotic vehicle, but it makes you feel like you're an exotic vehicle, give you that exotic vibe, right? It's a sports car, it sounds amazing, you know what I'm saying? And it's a good looking car, okay? So the C300 and the Corvette C8 is my top 2 for now. Now, the third car would be the Lamborghini Urus, okay? Now, this is for the people that want to make like 8 grand a month, 9 grand a month, 10 grand a month, you know what I'm saying? The Lamborghini Urus, I mean, it just speaks for itself. It's an exotic vehicle. It's a popular vehicle. It's actually a demanding vehicle in the rental business. And it's probably one of the best profitable vehicles that anybody could get. You could get a vehicle, you could get a Lamborghini Urus, keep it for only a year, rent it out, make 100 grand that year, resell it. You know what I'm saying? You probably might break even on the resale, or you can make some profit on the resale. Okay, so these are the top 3 vehicles that I recommend anybody to start with. There's other cars too, but if I had to boil down to only 3, if I had to start over myself, what cars would I pick? I'll pick those 3 cars. Here's the best way on purchasing these vehicles. Now, if you're somebody that's buying out cars cash, great. This you can skip this part, right? This part is not for you. Preferably buy out cash is the way to go. But if you're somebody that's looking to finance, one, you need great credit. You can't get these vehicles if you have like a 500 credit score or a 600 credit score. You need great credit. I say anywhere from like 700 to 800, you're golden. Okay, so one, you need great credit, right? 2, you may need some disposable income down to get like the Corvette and the Lamborghini. Lamborghini for sure you'll need like at least 25% down. The Corvette at least 10 grand down. Okay, like 5 to 10 grand down. Now, if you have an established auto loan, like say if you purchased 2 or 3 cars in the past, they're paid off, and you have a strong auto loan, your debt to income is perfect, you could get away with not putting anything down on the Corvette. I done seen one investor put 0 down on the Corvette, had a great APR and whatnot. The only thing is he got a pre-approval from his bank. So I'm gonna get into that in a bit. But if you don't have no like auto loan history that much, but you got great credit, then a down payment will like boost your chances of getting approval from a car. Okay, so the best way to look for these vehicles, I like to go on cargurus.com, and literally on CarGurus you can literally filter out the trim and like the exact type of car that you want. Say for example you want to get a Corvette, that's like under 10,000 miles, you could just literally filter out Corvette 10,000 miles, right, or less, the years 2023, 2024. Okay, you don't need a 2025, 2026 unless the price is right. But 2023, 2024, it will do just as great. You know what I'm saying? So CarGurus is like my #1 site getting these vehicles. Same thing with the C300. Same thing with the Lamborghini Urus. You can filter out depending on your budget, and you can actually play with the financing. They'll give you like an estimated financing, how much your monthly payment will be and your interest rate. It's not accurate, but at least you'll have an idea. Boom. When you say if you find a vehicle that you like, that you want, you're gonna proceed to purchase that vehicle. My recommended way on getting a vehicle is getting a pre-approval. Okay, pre-approvals will basically save you like time at the dealership. So let's just say if you go to your bank and you apply for an auto loan with your bank, preferably your bank because you have a relationship with them. You say if you got approved, you could literally go to the dealership and just say, hey, I got approved for this vehicle. Obviously after you test drive the vehicle, then you could literally just cash out or just submit the pre-approval to the dealership. Okay, dealerships will accept your pre-approvals. They have to accept your pre-approvals. Preferably they want you to apply with their bank so they can make some money on their end. But trust me guys, pre-approval is like the way to go. It'll just save you time. Okay, or another hack is going to this website called lightstream.com. Lightstream is an online pre-approval website where you literally could just apply, don't have to talk to no reps, and if like your debt to income is good, you have great credit, and you could get approved literally the next day. I've helped an investor get approved for $30,000 on pre-approval on the auto loan. He literally submitted an application. The next day they called him, or I think it was the same day they called him. They just asked him, verification questions, and then he literally got approved. They submitted the cash into his account the next day, right? Great hack, like great hack. I recommend anybody to try those 2 routes before going to the dealership to get those vehicles. Okay, now you got the top 3 cars. I showed you how to get those vehicles, the best way to finance these vehicles. And the third is literally almost the most important, is how to price them. Okay, now before you make any moves, you have to know if you're in the correct market for these cars. If you're like in a Colorado or somewhere that's always snowing, these cars may not apply to your area. So get cars that applies to your area. Okay, get those cars that people would want to rent in your area. Okay, but if you're like in a Miami, if you're like in a California or like a New York, or somewhere that has a lot of tourists going around, here's how you charge these cars. C300, you can charge these cars anywhere from $200 to $250, $275 a day. You just gotta play with the numbers. Okay, it depends on the client and it depends on the days. Okay, I say that because that's just how much I charge my C300s out here in South Florida. I've been charging that price for years, you know what I'm saying, for years. Depending on the client, you could probably go like 175 a day if they're getting it for like 5 days or more, you know what I'm saying? It just depends on like your relationship with the client. But if it's like a tourist, they come into Florida, they're ready to spend money, you could charge that car like as high as you can, like $250, maybe $275 a day, okay? So that's like my recommended pricing for the C300. Corvette C8s, you can charge that car anywhere from $300 to like $400 a day. That's like the sweet spots, $300 and $400 a day. People are paying that. They're paying that price on a Corvette C8. Let's just say your Corvette go out 10 days on average a month, and you charge like $350 a day. $350 times 10, you make like $3,500 revenue off one Corvette C8. Let's just say your car note is like $1,200. Boom, $2,300 profit off a Corvette C8. And I've seen this time and time again, right, on the Corvette C8s. Corvette C8s like are very demanding vehicles in the rental business, okay? So a Corvette C8 sweet spot, $300 to $400 a day. Lamborghini Urus, probably like the most profitable exotic vehicle that anybody could get. You could charge a Lamborghini Urus minimum $700 a day, maximum maybe $1,200 a day. Like I charge a Lamborghini Urus about $1,200 a day, a few times, not often, but a few times. But the main price point that I charge a Lamborghini Urus is around like the $800 to $1,000 a day. Again, it depends on the days, depending on the client. If a client is like 30 years old, great insurance, he's getting it for 4 days, I'm giving a Lamborghini Urus for like $800 a day. That's a deal. $800 a day for 4 days. That's $3,200 in the revenue off one car. It just surpassed the Corvette revenue. You know what I'm saying? Like off one car, 4 days, $3,200 a day. And if it's somebody that don't want to like rent a Lamborghini Urus 10 days out of the month, 4 days you rented out $800 a day, you made $3,200. Let's just say your car note is like $3K. You just paid your car note off of 4 days of a rental, right? And if you want to make profit on top of that, just rent it out for another 4 days next week or whatever, if you have an inquiring client, you know what I'm saying? And let's just say, like, for example, right, these numbers aren't guaranteed, but let's just say you just rent it out. Let's just say you rent it out 7 days out of the month, the Lamborghini Urus, and you charge $850 a day. $850 times 7, that's $5,900, over $5,900 in a 1 month. Let's just say you did that for a whole year straight, right? Times 12, that's 71 grand in 1 year. Let's just say, so remember that number, 71,400. Let's just say your car note's $3,000 a month, you're making about 29. So $2,950 is like your profit every single month times 12. You're making about $35,000 off one car. One car. That's somebody's average job in a year, average salary, you know what I'm saying? So let's just say you do that for 2 years straight. Boom, 2 years, 70 racks off one Lamborghini Urus. It may be higher depending on the season and depending on how much you charge, or it may be lower depending on how much you charge as well, right? Let's just say you bought that car for like 200, right? 200,000 minus 70,000, right? So you $130,000 in the hole for that car. Let's just say you have an inquirer, you want to get rid of it, you want to sell it, somebody offer you like $160, right? So $160, you just made $30,000 profit off the Lamborghini Urus. $30,000 profit on the Lamborghini Urus off the resale, because they hold their value, and as long as you keep it in great condition and you keep the miles low. So that's why when you rent out the Lamborghini Urus, I recommend you rent it out for like 100 miles a day. So there's no way nobody's running up like 1,000 miles in 1 day, you know what I'm saying? So this is the hack, guys, on renting out these cars, right? I gave you the top 3 cars that you could get today that is highly demanded in the rental business, right? The C300, the Corvette C8, and the Lamborghini Urus. And I showed you the best way on getting these vehicles. As far as the Lamborghini Urus, you just have to have a large down payment. A large down payment, great credit. That's like the only requirement, pretty much. As long as you got like 50 racks, like 50, 60 racks to put down on the Lamborghini Urus, you're in the green, you know what I'm saying? And I forgot to add the down payment onto the math here when I did the Lamborghini Urus, but you get the point, right? So I gave you the top 3 cars. I gave you the best way on financing these vehicles, or how to go about it on financing the vehicles, and I gave you how to price these vehicles. And if it's somebody that's interested in getting into the car rental business and you don't really want to do all the pricing and dealing with the clients or whatever, and you want somebody to do it for you, like me, there's a link in the description, guys, where you could just apply to book a one-on-one call. My Instagram is also on there, so you can see all my cars. You can see my website. You can see my page. You can see all my everything on there, so that way you could see it for yourself. Okay, and again, my name is Dudley, and I help people like you make money with their vehicles. So if you want to be a part of that opportunity for 2026, click that link. And if somebody that's flying into Florida, you want to experience a nice luxury vehicle to rent out, my website and Instagram's in link as well. So click that to book a car. And that's it for today's video, guys. If you found value, like it, and comment your questions down below in the comment section, and I'll be more than happy to answer your question. And all right, without further ado, I'm gonna catch you guys on the next video. Peace.